Continuing coverage of World Science Festival down here at South Bank. Can't believe it was 7 years ago that we were last here meeting Australia's first astronaut. And today, continuing this coverage with Mr. Dan Ilic. Dan, welcome to Trekzone, my friend. We're going to roll an opener, but I'm very excited to be chatting with you, the investigative humorist, as you are.
Yeah, that's it. Well, part comedian, part journalist. So I think the easiest way to describe who I am is investigative humorist.
This is Trekzone's Talkin' Science.
Well, Dan, welcome to Trekzone, my friend. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for talking to me. An internet celebrity.
Absolutely. Now, you're a bit of a bucket list guest for me.
Does that mean like a guest you want before you die?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No plans at the moment. We're just preparing for the future.
Yeah, good. Existential. Yeah.
Exactly right. Now, investigative humorist, what exactly does that mean?
It means I'm like a part comedian and part journalist. That's why I call myself an investigative humorist. I'm not going to win a Walkley. I'm not going to win a Logie. Maybe I'll win free parking somewhere, and that's all I can hope for.
That's all I'm hoping for as well. Didn't get free parking today, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Well, when you got the Olympics coming to town, you can't afford every dollar not paid. It's every dollar wasted. Get some infrastructure in this place. Come on.
Well, we need new power, definitely, after last night's issue at the Gabba where the lights went out.
God, I saw that, but that was because the lights are on fire. So
yes.
that's different. That's kind of different. But yeah, you can't. What do they call it in South Africa? Load shedding. You can't have load shedding here in Brisbane. No, you don't want load shedding in Brisbane. You want load on all the time. Load bulking. You want load bulking.
Load bulking. I love it. Now, we are obviously here for the World Science Festival, and the Minders are off to the side there, reminding me that I have to give them a nice big plug because they've brought me down here to have a chat with you. You're here for the World Science Festival as well. You've got a panel tomorrow. Tell us a little bit about that. Or tomorrow from when we're recording.
Yeah, so I do a podcast called A Rational Fear. It brings the smartest and funniest people together to talk about the scariest things in the world. We laugh in the face of fear. And tomorrow we're talking about all the incredible, interesting things around science and climate science and planet hunting and all sorts of things. Maths, I think. Maths is very scary for some people. We're going to be talking about maths. Mark Humphries is joining us. He's going to give us a quiz. I think it's about climate science. It's called Pointless, which is the name of his show that he did.
That went for a long time.
It went for a very long time, and I think that's going to be fun. And Mel Buttle's joining us. Mandy Nolan, who is not only a former Greens candidate, but she's also a comedian. She's joining us as well. So we get funny and smart people together, and we make jokes about the big issues facing the world.
I love it. Now, what's your background? Are you science, space sort of background, or just that journalist?
I'm an idiot.
Not that there's anything wrong with either of them.
No, I'm just a professional idiot. Like I literally make jokes for a living. I've got no science background at all. I don't know why. I don't even know why I'm here. There are so many smarter people you could have booked to run a show, but you chose me. Don't do it, Queensland government. Cancel my contract. I have no qualifications. I've won a few podcast awards. No big deal. Nobody counts those in science. But no, we just kind of make smart and funny stuff. I spent a lot of time around the climate science community, kind of learning about climate science, communicating about climate science. I've been to a few COPs and kind of advocate for more reasonable discussion around climate science and more reasonable policy from our leaders. So that's kind of my background a little bit.
And it's an interesting one as well because it's very similar to me in that we don't have the degrees in science or anything like that. It's just really become a bit of a passion and a bit of a real interest for us to dive into all of these issues that are facing us at the moment. You're focusing on climate science.
Yeah, like many people on the internet, I've done my own research.
I keep doing it.
I'm a scientist. I've done my own research. I went into Reddit and did my own research. And here's what I found, that scientists are probably correct. So, probably listen to them.
Exactly right. And bringing them in and chatting with them as well. Do you feel that there's a bit of a knowledge imbalance when you're getting all these people on stage?
Well, here's the thing. I think not so much a knowledge imbalance, but it's about trying to find ways for scientists to be able to communicate what they know in an entertaining way. And that's kind of what I try to do with A Rational Fear. So I get really smart people, add a joke, and hope that a fact and a joke can explode in people's minds as an info bomb. So that's my whole premise. The whole thing is joining facts and jokes together to create information bombs that hopefully the audience will consume and enjoy and think about the world in a different way.
And it is an interesting one as well. What's it like Do you get any audience feedback after your sessions with these facts and humour that people have kind of been inspired?
It's funny, like we did a show at the Festival of Dangerous Ideas in Sydney, and the festival director came up and she said, "Wow, the way you do such serious topics in such a funny way. Like, who would have thought that Australian secrecy laws could be so funny?" And I'm like, well, that's what we do. Like, why are you so, like, everything's funny. Everything can be funny. In fact, the things that are the most threatening to people's lives are often the funniest.
Yeah, absolutely. I found that as well. Did you have any men in black suits just standing off into the distance, approaching you at any point?
Oh, not for that particular show, no. But we've done our last big show we did in Brisbane was at Climate Week in 2019, and we performed to like 400 people at the Powerhouse Museum. It was at the Powerhouse. It was one of the best shows we've ever done. It was just extraordinary. And on that show, that was sponsored by the Queensland government at the time, and it was a show about climate change. And they told us 5 minutes before we went on stage, the producers, they said, "Hey, Dan, there's one thing you can't say on stage tonight." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, what is it?" "You can't say the word Adani." And I was like, "Oh, we're doing a show about climate change in Queensland. We can't say the word Adani?" She said, "No." I was like, "Oh, okay." So after the Welcome to Country, I went out on stage and said, "Hi, everyone." 400 people who were all there for Climate Week. I said, "I've just been told we can't say a certain word on stage tonight." And then 400 people yelled back at me, "Adani!" And I said, "So if you know the word Adani, just keep it to yourselves. Adani!" And there might be some people up on stage tonight might replace that word with something else. Adani! And it was so funny because everybody in the audience knew exactly the word we weren't allowed to say.
Absolutely. Now, a bit of context for our international viewers. Adani, a mining company from India that wanted a lease here in Queensland, Abbott Point. Certainly a very controversial topic. One for one side, there's jobs. The other side is the environment. Certainly very hot button. That is quite funny. Do you get any of that sort of, is that a rare occurrence for that sort of censorship?
It kind of makes sense because that was the Queensland government paying for the show. So, happy to do whatever they want.
You mean they're not self-deprecating?
No, they're very serious people. But we don't often get censored like that. And that's fine. Like, we're comedians, so we can work around it. We live in a country where we can work around it, so it's fine. And it's great. It's great fun to do. Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Dan, what are you hoping for tomorrow with your panel?
The way you say that, it sounds like a journalist asking a sports journalist asking a footballer
Get out there, son.
The grand final. Look, just want to get out there, give 110%. Want to make people laugh, and want to go the full 60 minutes. Want to try and get at least 2 or 3 laughs per minute, maybe more if we're lucky. And at the end of the day, it's just about making people laugh and having a bit of a think.
Are you on a KPI at all?
KPI for laughs?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I always try to go. I always want like at least five LPMs.
Okay.
Laughs per minute.
I like it.
Yeah, I've got to have 5 LPMs. Yeah.
Awesome. Dan, I better let you go back to preparing for that for tomorrow. Where can people find you online?
They can find me at my OnlyFans.
onlyfans.com/
Dan Ilic, yeah.
Dan Ilic.
Yeah.
Anywhere else?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I mean,
Does anywhere else matter?
Yeah, irrationalfear.com. That is the podcast. Please sign up to it. If you love big conversations with funny, smart people, listen in. It's great. We talk about big stuff every week.
Fantastic, Dan. Awesome to have your time, and good luck with tomorrow.
Thank you, and I look forward to celebrating Adani.